Today we are going to see about a new chapter, fiber to fabric, chapter number 3. Chapter 3, fiber to fabric, we are going to see about it. Okay, let us go with the lesson. So topic fiber to fabric. So what are the major concepts we are going to see about in this lesson is variety in fabrics, fibers, plant fibers, how the yarn is made into the fabric, and what are the history of clothing materials. Okay. Now, coming to the introduction of the lesson, that what do you mean by fiber and fabric? Fabric means nothing but the cloth, what we are wearing, our dresses, that is called fabric. Okay. Do you know how we will get our dresses and how these dresses are made? So in this chapter, we are going to learn about that only. Okay. How these dresses are made. How do we get different fancy dresses which we are like that. Okay. So the next slide. The fabrics are used for making dress items like school uniforms, shirts, bed sheets, tablecloth, saris, etc. And also different colored fabrics are available in the market. That is socks, ribbon, a school bag, gunny bag, etc. Nowadays, the commonly used fabrics are cotton fabric, woolen fabric, silk fabric, and synthetic fabric. And depending upon the season or the climatic conditions, we use cloth which is made up of a suitable fabric. Suppose if it is a summer season, we will prefer to wear cotton fabric. Suppose if it is a winter season, we'll prefer to wear woolen silk. Suppose if it's an occasional or any other function, so we'll wear about the silk fabrics. Okay. So next slide. Now, what is yarn? When you look at the fabric, what is my fabric? The dress, okay, or cloth. It seems a continuous piece. So if, however, we look at a piece of a fabric closely or with a magnifying glass, we will find that a fabric is made of loose thread or yarn. See, when you are seeing whatever the dress you are wearing it, suppose if you see here, seeing this, you will be getting like this kind of this kind of thread also, and this kind of thread also. So both the threads you will be having it. Okay. So we will find that the fabric is made of loose of thread or yarn. So fabric is made of thread or yarn. Yarn makes a fabric. Okay. Now, next slide. Now take a piece of cotton towel and pull out the yarn from one of the edges of the fabric. Then we can go on pulling more and more yarns from the piece of cotton fabric. So from this activity, you can conclude that the whole piece of cotton fabric can be pulled out into a number of pieces of yarns. It shows that the piece of cotton is made of yarns. So your fabric is made up of yarns woven together. See this picture. From this you can understand. See, this is the yarn. Again, this yarn is split up into a very thin, fine threads. So that is called fiber. So how do we get dresses? First fiber, then fiber is converted to yarn. That is, yarn is made up of fibers. Next, from that yarn, the fabric is produced. Okay, so this is the, in between many steps are there to convert from fiber to fabric, like ginning, spinning, knitting, weaving, like that. So based on the fiber, the steps will be varied. So next, coming to the next slide. Take out a yarn of wool. Place this piece of yarn on the table. Now press one end of the yarn with the left hand and scratch the other end of the yarn along with length of the nail of the right hand thumb. We will find that the piece of woolen yarn splits into the thin strands of wool. Okay, so that wool is called, I told you, like how I have shown you that very minute threads of yarn is called a fiber. Okay, so fiber that is converted into yarn. So one or two fibers, many fibers combine together to form a yarn, then many yarn together to form a fabric. Okay, that is what we call it as cloth. Where do these fibers come from? You know, the fabrics are made up of yarns. Yarns are further made up of fibers. Okay, so fibers are of two types. One is natural and artificial fibers, or we can call it as man-made fibers. Example of natural fibers are, that is, again, the natural fibers are of two types. One is plant fiber, the other one is the animal fiber. So plant fiber consists of cotton, jute, wool. Okay. So cotton, jute, not wool, cotton, jute, flax, coir, like that. Okay, if it comes under animal fibers, wool and silk are the animal fibers. So the fibers which are obtained from plants and animals are called as natural fibers. While some other fibers are which are man-made or artificial, or we can say that the fibers which can be produced from petrochemical substances or chemical substances, that is example nylon, rayon, acrylic, etc., which are not obtained from plants and animals. Wool and silk are animal fiber. Cotton, jute, flax, and coconut, what we call it as coir, CY or coir, okay, or plant fibers. Now coming to cotton, the first main plant fiber. This is one of the it is plant fiber. Have you seen cotton fibers? It is a natural fiber and it is white and soft. Yes or no? We have seen the cotton and the cotton plant. Cotton fibers come from the cotton plant. It is obtained from the fruits of the cotton plant. Fruits of cotton plants are called cotton balls. After maturation, the cotton balls burst open to produce the cotton seeds covered with fibers. The process of separating the cotton fibers from the seed is called ginning. See this picture here. See here, the cotton are there, inside cotton seed will be present. So the process of separating this cotton fiber from the seed, that process is called ginning. Okay, so this is the cotton plant. Once the seed gets matured, this cotton balls will burst open. Okay, it will open and then the seed is removed from the cotton fiber. That process called ginning. Next, cotton is mainly used for making fabrics, which are used for making dress, for filling pillows, mattresses, and bits of oil lamp, etc. Then coming for the flax, it is also a natural fiber. These fibers are obtained from the stem of the flax plant. The flax fibers are used for making fabrics. The fabric made of flax is called linen. Okay, linen cloths. Next, coming to jute. Jute fiber is obtained from the stem of the jute plant. The fiber is rough and strong. It is used to make rope and jute bags. Next, coming to coconut fiber, what we call it as coir. The outer covering of coconut have some fiber on it. It is called coconut fiber. The coconut fibers are making ropes and mats. This coconut fiber is also called as coir. C-O-I-R. Okay. Next, so now till now we have seen about the plant fibers like cotton, then flax, then jute, then coconut fiber, that is coir. Okay. Now, how do we make a fabric? The fabrics are made from fibers in the following two steps. One is the process of making yarn. First, fiber is there, we have to make a yarn. Then from the yarn, it is converted into a fabric. Okay, so the process of making yarn from the fibers, then process of making fabric from the yarn. So these are the two steps what we are going to, how we are going to make a fabric. So making of yarn from fibers, how can we make yarn from the fibers? For making fibers, yarn is needed. For making fabric, yarn is needed. So yarn is a long twisted thread. This yarn is made up of fiber. Cotton yarn is obtained from cotton fibers. Wool yarn is produced from the wool fibers. That is particular fiber. If we need a synthetic fiber, we have to go for the synthetic yarn. Okay, like that. So the process of converting fibers into yarn, that is called spinning. Like this. That is, fiber is converted into yarn is called spinning. This process converts the minute fiber into yarns. There are three devices for spinning. They are hand spindle, that is Takli, spinning wheel is Charka, and then spinning machines. Nowadays we are going for the spinning machines only. Spinning wheel is called Charka. The use of spinning wheel was popularized by the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. I think you know, you are aware about it, this one. See, this is called Charka, and this is called Takli. See. Now, the yarn is the basic material for fabrics. By using fabric, we can make variety of dress items. Yarns join together to form piece of fabrics. There are mainly two methods to make fabric from yarns. They are weaving and knitting. Weaving. It is one of the methods of making fabrics from yarns. In weaving, two sets of yarns are arranged at right angles to one another. That is one like this. Like this also the yarn will come, and this also the yarn will come. Once if you see a fabric in a very minute manner, you will be getting it. Okay. So here two sets of yarns are woven to make a fabric. The device used for weaving is looms. Looms are of two types. One will be the hand loom, the other will be the power loom. The loom which is worked by hand, okay, hand loom, that is called hand loom. The loom which works with electrical power is called a power loom. So this is called weaving. Weaving can be practiced like this also. So here, this is one thread, green color. This yellow color is the other thread. So it will move in a right angle. Okay. Then this is hand loom, worked by hand. This is power loom, worked with electrical power. So weaving is the method of fabrics using yarns, and this weaving can be done with some other natural resources also. Weaving of coconut leaves and weaving of bamboo are some of the examples. And the ஓலையில பின்னி வைப்பாங்களடா, that is active. Actually, this is primitive weaving technology. Weaving of coconut leaves, it is used for thatching the roof of hut and making the door of huts. Bamboo weaving is also very important. It is used for making basket and handicrafts. And in these two methods, two distinct sets of strips or leaves are interlocked at normally at right angles. Okay. So up to this, we have seen about what are the different types of plant fibers, and then how do we get a fabric, how does the yarn is made, okay, how do we get fibers, and what is weaving, we have seen about it. So next coming to, so this is coconut weaving examples. This weaving of coconut leaves. See, this is one of the example. This is also for example of weaving. We'll be using for the hut, no. Next, coming to knitting. In this method, yes, single yarn is used to make a fabric. For weaving, we'll be using two kinds of fabric. Knitting, we'll be making a single yarn. Okay, the process of making a fabric by a single yarn with knitting needles is called knitting. Many items of our clothing like socks, bunion are made of machine knitted fabrics only. So what are the history of clothing material? Those days we used cloths made of various types of fabrics to cover our bodies. No fabrics were available in ancient time. When people began to practice agriculture and settled at places near the source of water, they learned to weave twigs and grass to make mats and baskets. So after that, very thin stems of climbing plants and animal leaves were twisted together to form long strands. So these strands were then woven into fabric. Ultimately, people started growing cotton and flax plants to obtain fibers to make fabrics. Afterwards, the invention of stitching machine has changed the field of textile industry. Okay, initially like this, with the help of the fibers only, we are making like this. Now it is a modern dressing like this. Okay. That's all about the lesson. So till now we have seen about the, that is fiber to fabric. What is fiber? We have seen what is fabric. How does the fiber made of? That is fiber. Fiber is converted into yarn, and the yarn and the process of making yarn into a fabric. So these are the main two steps to making a fabric. Okay, then how do we get cotton fibers? Through ginning and spinning. Then how do we get a fabric in two steps, knitting and weaving? In weaving, two yarns are attached together. Okay, and in knitting, only single yarn is twisted together. Okay, so these are all the steps we have seen, and we have seen about the ancient history of clothing also. Okay, so that's all. The lesson is over. Okay, thank you, children.